Have you ever witnessed an ordinary moment turn into a powerful catalyst for justice? In the heart of Atlanta, Dr. Marcus Wright's celebratory evening at an upscale restaurant turned into a shocking ordeal, igniting a firestorm of activism and reform. Confronted and humiliated by the police, Marcus's night of triumph was marred by racial injustice and corruption. But when his brother, renowned civil rights lawyer Thomas Wright, stepped in, what followed was a riveting journey of uncovering systemic abuse and fighting for accountability. In this video, we delve into the dramatic story of how Marcus and Thomas Wright confronted corruption, rallied community support, and sparked a citywide reckoning. You'll witness the emotional testimony, the relentless pursuit of truth, and the inspiring transformation of a community united against injustice. Stay tuned until the end to see how their courageous fight led to groundbreaking reforms and how it continues to inspire change today. Don't miss this powerful story of resilience, determination, and the quest for a just world. Before we begin, I'll give it a thumbs up. If you like the video, you can help me continue to spread this story. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't like it, comment 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. In the heart of Atlanta, an incident unfolded that would ignite a powerful wave of justice and reflection across the city. Dr. Marcus Wright, a highly esteemed black physician, found himself at the center of a disturbing and humiliating encounter that would challenge the very essence of respect and equality. On a special evening meant to celebrate a significant medical breakthrough, Marcus was dining with colleagues at the upscale restaurant Lely, a venue renowned for its luxurious ambience and frequent patronage of Atlanta's elite. The atmosphere at Lely was alive with the buzz of sophisticated conversation and laughter. The restaurant, frequented by lawyers, doctors, and business moguls, had become a symbol of success and high-profile networking. Dr. Marcus Wright, a distinguished 32-year-old physician celebrated for his groundbreaking work, was relishing the moment with his peers. The night was a testament to his hard-earned achievements and the camaraderie he shared with those who had supported him throughout his journey. Dr. Emily Harris, a close and trusted colleague, raised her glass in a toast, her voice brimming with admiration. "Marcus, that was an incredible presentation today. You truly outdid yourself." Her words were met with heartfelt appreciation from Marcus. "Thank you, Emily. It's been a long journey, but we did it together," he replied, his face aglow with pride and contentment as he clinked glasses with her. The room was filled with animated discussions, joyful laughter, and the palpable sense of success that marked the evening. However, this celebratory atmosphere was abruptly shattered when 2 police officers entered Lely. Their presence, marked by their authoritative stance and stern expressions, quickly drew the attention of everyone in the restaurant. The celebration came to a sudden halt as they approached Marcus's table. "Excuse me, sir," one officer said brusquely, "we need to see your identification." Caught off guard, Marcus maintained his composure despite the unsettling intrusion. "What's the issue, officer?" he inquired, trying to understand the reason for this unexpected scrutiny. "We're just doing our job," the officer replied curtly. "Please present your ID." The authoritative tone and the officer's demeanor made Marcus feel increasingly uncomfortable and vulnerable. Although he was aware he had done nothing wrong, the aggressive approach of the officers was both intimidating and demeaning. Marcus handed over his ID, and the officer scrutinized it with a clear sense of disdain. "Dr. Marcus Wright, huh?" he said, returning the ID with a mocking smirk. "Do you think your title gives you the right to be here?" The officer's sarcastic tone and the racist undertones in his words were deeply troubling. Marcus's colleagues began to voice their concerns and protest the treatment, but the officers remained unyielding, making derogatory comments and insinuating that a black man like Marcus was out of place in such a prestigious establishment. The restaurant manager, Attempting to intervene and restore dignity to the situation was met with hostility from the officers. "This is absurd. He's a respected customer," the manager argued, his frustration evident. "Stay out of this," one officer snapped, glaring at him. "We're handling this." The manager's attempts to de-escalate the situation were futile, and the confrontation continued, intensifying Marcus's public humiliation. After what felt like an interminable period of interrogation and unwarranted scrutiny, the officers finally released Marcus with a forced and insincere apology. The experience left him deeply shaken, his sense of injustice compounded by the overt display of racial bias. He returned home, grappling with the emotional weight of the evening's events, feeling the sting of humiliation and the gnawing realization of the prejudice he had just endured. Little did the officers know that Dr. Marcus Wright was the brother of Thomas Wright, a renowned civil rights lawyer whose reputation for fighting injustice and advocating for equality was well established. The incident at Lely would soon become a catalyst for a broader reckoning within the city, as Thomas Wright's involvement would bring national attention to the egregious behavior of the officers and ignite a fervent pursuit of justice. At home, Marcus found his brother, Thomas Wright, deep in thought in his study, engrossed in legal texts. Thomas, a highly respected civil rights lawyer known for his unwavering dedication to justice, immediately sensed that something was amiss as Marcus entered the room. The worry in Thomas's eyes was palpable. "Marcus, what on earth happened?" he asked, his voice laced with genuine concern. Marcus, struggling to steady his voice, replied with visible distress, "I was humiliated tonight, Thomas. At the restaurant, 2 police officers approached me. They made racist comments and treated me like I was a criminal." Thomas's face hardened with anger as he took Marcus into a comforting embrace. "This is unacceptable," Thomas said firmly. "I will take immediate action. They have no right to treat you or anyone else in such a despicable manner." The following day, Thomas used his considerable influence and legal expertise to launch a comprehensive investigation into the officers' conduct. He meticulously began reviewing various cases linked to the officers, searching for any indication of misconduct or irregularities. Determined to seek justice, Thomas was resolute in his mission to uncover the truth. Meanwhile, Marcus, alongside his colleague Dr. Emily Harris, embarked on their investigative journey. They delved into documents and records, tirelessly analyzing each piece of evidence. Their investigation uncovered a disturbing pattern of evidence tampering and abusive behavior linked to the officers in question. "Take a look at this," Marcus, Emily said, her voice tinged with urgency as she pointed to an old file. "This case file shows altered witness statements. I'm convinced these officers were involved." Marcus's anger and frustration mounted with each new revelation. "This is far worse than we initially thought. We have to make this information public," he insisted. With the aid of investigative journalists, Marcus and Emily began to expose their findings to the public. The city's reaction was swift, and intense media outlets began probing the officers' pasts, uncovering a troubling history of abuse and corruption. Feeling the mounting pressure, the officers attempted to intimidate Marcus and Emily, resorting to surveillance and subtle threats. Despite this, Marcus remained resolute. "The truth must come out, Emily. We cannot allow this corruption to persist. We need justice, not just for me, but for all those who have been victimized," he declared. If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Community support surged as civil rights organizations rallied behind Marcus. They organized protests and demanded a thorough investigation into the police department's practices. The city became a battleground of conflicting views, with some staunchly supporting the police and others fervently advocating for urgent reform. "We stand with you," Marcus chanted the protesters outside the courthouse. "Justice now." As the public outcry grew, Thomas faced his profound ethical dilemma. In his review of old cases, he discovered more instances where people had been wrongly condemned based on falsified evidence. The gravity of the situation weighed heavily on him, but he understood that he had to confront these injustices head-on. "We need to re-examine all these cases, Marcus," Thomas said with a determined expression. "We cannot allow these wrongs to continue." Marcus nodded in agreement, his resolve unwavering. "You're right, Thomas. Let's uncover the truth and seek justice, no matter what it takes." The tension reached a crescendo when a public hearing was scheduled to address the officers' behavior and the findings of Marcus and Emily's investigation. The courtroom was filled, with the entire city keenly observing the proceedings. Marcus, standing before the court, delivered a heartfelt and powerful testimony. He recounted the traumatic incident at the restaurant, detailed the investigations he had conducted, and presented the compelling evidence he had uncovered. Each word he spoke was imbued with deep emotion, underscoring the profound impact of racism and corruption on the justice system and the lives it affected. "Here are the proofs," Marcus said, presenting a comprehensive array of documents and records. He laid out the evidence meticulously, his voice steady but intense. These officers engaged in a deliberate scheme to tamper with evidence, ensuring swift and unjust convictions. They have betrayed the public trust, using their authority to oppress rather than protect the very people they were sworn to serve. The room was silent except for the rustle of papers and the murmur of disbelief. As the pressure mounted, one of the implicated officers, visibly shaken and cornered, finally broke down and confessed. His confession revealed a dark and extensive network of corruption, disclosing that they had been following orders from higher-ups to manipulate cases and secure convictions. This revelation unearthed a corruption scheme far more extensive and insidious than anyone had anticipated. The city was rocked by shock and outrage. Thomas, deeply moved by the gravity of the situation, delivered a stirring and impassioned speech on justice and accountability. "We must rectify these grave wrongs and ensure that our justice system is equitable and transparent for all. We cannot permit corruption to erode the public's trust in our judicial system." His words resonated deeply, and the city, previously fractured by mistrust and division, began to coalesce around the call for meaningful reform. In response to the scandal, several high-ranking officers were dismissed and faced legal proceedings. A comprehensive review of past cases was launched to address the widespread injustices that had been perpetrated. Marcus and Emily dedicated themselves wholeheartedly to ensuring that the victims of this extensive scheme received the justice they deserved. Marcus, now emerging as a well-respected and influential figure in the fight for justice, founded a nonprofit organization aimed at providing legal assistance to individuals wrongfully accused or wronged by systemic corruption. With the unwavering support of his brother, colleagues, and the broader community, Marcus continued his relentless pursuit of a fairer and more equitable legal system. The city, inspired by Marcus's bravery and relentless commitment to uncovering the truth, began to look forward with renewed optimism. Marcus's journey was not merely a tale of justice, but a testament to resilience and the critical importance of steadfastly pursuing a better world. The incident at the restaurant involving Marcus quickly became a focal point of public outrage and debate. The streets erupted in protests, with people demanding both justice and sweeping police reform. Despite the mounting attention and the fervor surrounding the case, Marcus remained resolute and focused on his mission. Together with Emily, he understood that their path forward would be long and fraught with challenges. In their modest downtown office, Marcus and Emily worked tirelessly to piece together the vast puzzle of corruption within the police department. The space was cluttered with files, notes, and a large whiteboard covered in diagrams and names connected by red lines. The air was thick with the intensity of their investigation. "Marcus, take a look at this," Emily said, pulling out an old, worn file from a stack. "This case shows clear evidence of altered witness testimony. I'm convinced these officers are involved." Marcus quickly scanned the document, his face growing serious. "You're right, Emily. This is part of a disturbing pattern: manipulated testimonies, fabricated evidence, coerced convictions. We need to bring this to light." As they labored on, the support from the community continued to swell. Civil rights organizations, legal experts, and even some local politicians began to rally around Marcus's cause. The city, though tense, was now charged with a hopeful energy. That afternoon, Marcus and Emily visited one of the victims they believed had been wrongfully convicted. Thomas Johnson, a 50-year-old man serving a 20-year prison sentence for armed robbery, had always maintained his innocence. "Thomas, we're here to offer our help," Marcus said with empathy. "We've uncovered evidence suggesting you were wrongfully convicted. We're committed to fighting for your freedom." Thomas, initially silent, looked at them with a mixture of hope and sorrow. "I've always known I was just a scapegoat. Those officers fabricated the evidence against me. I'm innocent." Marcus and Emily spent several hours with Thomas, gathering testimonies and meticulously reviewing documents. Leaving the meeting, they were more determined than ever to secure justice for Thomas and all those who had suffered due to the corrupt practices of the officers involved. The following day, a massive protest was organized outside the police station, drawing a large crowd determined to make their voices heard. Marcus was invited to address the gathering, an opportunity he embraced with a deep sense of responsibility. As he stepped up to the podium and took the microphone, the crowd's anticipation was palpable. "Today we stand united to demand justice," Marcus began, his voice resonating with both firmness and raw emotion. "We can no longer stand idly by as racism, corruption, and the abuse of power continue to plague our society. I am a doctor, yes, but more importantly, I am a citizen who believes deeply in the principles of justice and equality. We urgently need comprehensive reform in our police and judicial systems to ensure that every individual, regardless of their skin color or social status, receives a fair and impartial trial." The crowd responded with a surge of applause and shouts of agreement, their support invigorating Marcus as he continued. "We have uncovered alarming evidence that some officers are engaging in criminal activities themselves, planting false evidence and manipulating witnesses. This isn't just an attack on innocent individuals, it's a profound betrayal of public trust. We demand a thorough and transparent investigation into these abuses." As Marcus spoke, the hope and determination visible on the faces of the crowd were palpable. Inside the police station, the atmosphere was tense. Officers, watching the protest unfold, wore grim expressions. They were acutely aware that the scrutiny and pressure on them were intensifying. "This is utterly ridiculous," one officer muttered, his face flushed with anger and frustration. "She's making us look like monsters." "We need to find a way to discredit her," his colleague replied, his voice edged with concern. "If this keeps up, we could all be out of jobs or worse." If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. That evening, Marcus and Emily were hard at work in their office, surrounded by mountains of documents. The dim light cast long shadows on their determined faces. "We have to proceed with extreme caution," Marcus advised, his tone serious. "These officers are dangerous and will go to great lengths to thwart our efforts." Emily, her eyes steady with resolve, nodded. "I understand. But we're on the right side of this fight. We must press on, no matter the risks." Meanwhile, Thomas, grappling with his internal turmoil, reviewed old case files. The evidence of wrongful convictions based on fabricated evidence was overwhelming. The weight of guilt pressed heavily on him, but so did a steadfast determination to rectify past wrongs. As Marcus entered his home office, he approached his brother with concern. "How are you holding up, Dad? I know this must be incredibly difficult." Thomas, looking up from his work, his eyes reflecting both pain and resolve, responded, "I'm managing, Marcus." My focus is on ensuring that justice is ultimately served. I can't undo the past, but I am committed to fighting to prevent such injustices from recurring." Marcus embraced his brother, feeling the bond of strength and love that had always united them. "We'll get through this together. We have the power to effect change." The subsequent days were filled with intense activity. Marcus and Emily tirelessly continued their investigation, their efforts resonating throughout the city, which rallied in support of their cause. The mounting pressure on the police department culminated in a scheduled public hearing. At the hearing, Marcus took the stand with a commanding presence. He presented his findings with eloquence and fervor, laying out in detail how officers had planted evidence and manipulated testimonies. His presentation was meticulously supported with documents and witness statements. The courtroom was hushed, every word from Marcus charged with the weight of truth and justice. "These officers have betrayed the trust placed in them," Marcus declared, his gaze unwavering as he addressed the accused. "Instead of upholding their duty to protect, they have wielded their power to oppress. We cannot and will not allow this corruption to continue." Under the intense pressure of mounting evidence and relentless public scrutiny, one of the officers finally broke down. His voice quivered as he confessed, "I confess. I was coerced into planting evidence and altering testimonies. We were given direct orders from higher-ups. There was constant pressure to secure quick convictions, regardless of the actual guilt or innocence of those accused." The confession had an immediate and explosive impact. The courtroom, previously tense and hushed, erupted into a chaotic buzz of indignation and disbelief. Murmurs of shock gave way to vocal outcries from the audience. Judge Thomas Wright, known for his unflappable demeanor, managed to maintain his composure amid the uproar. He called for silence with a firm voice and continued to listen attentively to the unfolding testimonies. As the room settled, another officer, sensing the inescapable tide of truth, stepped forward. "Yes, it's true," he admitted, his voice laden with guilt. "We were systematically encouraged to manipulate evidence and secure convictions to boost our statistics and earn rewards." Or Dr. Marcus Wright, the moment was a complex mixture of relief and sorrow. Relief that the truth was finally surfacing, but deep sadness at the extent of corruption that had been exposed. "These actions have not only betrayed public trust but have also wreaked havoc on countless lives," Marcus said, his voice choked with emotion. "It's crucial that not only those directly responsible be held accountable, but also that comprehensive reforms are instituted to prevent such abuses from recurring." Thomas Wright, his face set in a serious and determined expression, addressed the room with resolve. "I want to thank Marcus and all the witnesses for their bravery. This court is dedicated to ensuring that justice is served and that systemic reforms are implemented. We cannot allow these abuses to continue tainting our judicial system." With that, the hearing was adjourned for deliberations. Outside the courthouse, the atmosphere was electric with discussions, debates, and protests. Marcus and Emily, flanked by a crowd of supporters and journalists, left the building amidst a swirl of activity. A reporter thrust a microphone toward Marcus, pressing for his reaction. "Marcus, how do you feel now that the truth is coming out?" "I feel we've taken a significant step forward," Marcus responded resolutely. "However, the fight is far from over. We must ensure that the reforms are not just proposed but enacted, and that all victims of this corrupt scheme receive the justice they deserve." Back at the police department, the mood was one of fear and trepidation. The realization that careers and reputations were on the line sent ripples of panic through the ranks. "We need to act swiftly," the police chief instructed his advisors, urgency in his tone. "We must cooperate fully with the investigation and attempt to salvage what remains of our reputation." In the days that followed, the city witnessed a dramatic series of events. High-ranking officers were dismissed and indicted, and a comprehensive review of past cases was launched. Marcus and Emily threw themselves into the monumental task of assisting victims in securing new hearings and overturning wrongful convictions. One of the first beneficiaries of this monumental effort was Thomas Johnson. With Marcus's support, Thomas received a new hearing and was ultimately exonerated of all charges. The sight of Thomas leaving the courthouse with a beaming smile, finally liberated from his wrongful conviction, was a testament to the profound impact of Marcus's relentless pursuit of justice. "Thank you, Marcus. You've saved my life," Thomas said, his eyes brimming with tears of gratitude. "It wasn't just me, Thomas," Marcus replied, deeply moved. "It was a collective effort, and we will continue to fight so that no one else has to endure what you went through. The battle for justice and reform is ongoing, and we are committed to seeing it through." As the city grappled with the unfolding changes, Marcus remained deeply engaged with his team, strategizing their next moves. His nonprofit organization, which had steadily gained momentum, was now enjoying substantial support from a diverse range of sectors. The collective effort of the team was palpable in their meetings, where the commitment to their mission was unwavering. During one of these pivotal meetings, Emily presented an innovative proposal. "Marcus, given the success we've had so far, I believe it's time to broaden our scope. Beyond providing legal assistance, we should establish education programs focused on raising awareness about individual rights and teaching communities how to defend themselves against abuses." Marcus, clearly impressed by Emily's initiative and enthusiasm, responded with a broad smile. "That's a fantastic idea, Emily. Educating and empowering our community is crucial. Let's move forward with this plan." The ensuing months were characterized by relentless effort and notable achievements. Marcus and his dedicated team overturned several unjust convictions and played a crucial role in helping numerous victims rebuild their lives. Their work began to gain national recognition, prompting other cities to adopt reforms inspired by Marcus's relentless fight for justice. One day, Marcus received an unexpected phone call that would mark a new chapter in his journey. It was from a high-ranking federal government official, extending an invitation to discuss national police reform policies in Washington, D.C. "This is an incredible opportunity," Marcus told Emily, his excitement palpable. "Our efforts are making a tangible difference, and now we have a chance to influence reform on a national scale." Emily, her heart swelling with pride and a sense of responsibility, agreed. "We should go to Washington. There's still much work ahead, but this is a significant step in the right direction." Upon their arrival in Washington, Marcus was met with a warm reception and genuine respect. During the pivotal meeting, he shared his first-hand experiences and presented a series of policy proposals derived from the successful reforms implemented in his city. His articulate presentation and in-depth knowledge left a strong impression on the government representatives, who assured him that they would give serious consideration to his recommendations. Returning to Atlanta, Marcus continued his tireless work with renewed vigor. Each success, each victory, felt like a step closer to realizing his vision of a fair and equitable justice system. His foundation expanded its reach, impacting more lives and driving meaningful change. One night, as Marcus was immersed in reviewing documents in his office, he was surprised by a visit from his brother Thomas. If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. With a proud smile and tears of emotion in his eyes, Thomas approached Marcus. "Marcus, you've done it. You've made a real and profound difference. I am so incredibly proud of everything you've accomplished." Marcus embraced his brother, a profound mix of weight and joy washing over him. "There's still so much to be done, but with you by my side, we'll continue to fight." Thomas, fully aware of his brother's relentless spirit, nodded in agreement. "We will, for a better future for everyone." Marcus's journey, marked by resilience and dedication, had sparked a movement. His unwavering commitment to justice inspired others to join the cause, and the city, now transformed by his efforts, faced the future with newfound hope and determination. They were ready to confront any challenge in the pursuit of justice and equality. The subsequent months ushered in transformative changes for Atlanta. The reforms instituted within the police department began yielding positive results. Reports of abuse of power decreased, and there was a marked increase in transparency and accountability. Marcus's nonprofit foundation continued its vital work, advocating for justice and human rights and providing support to victims of systemic corruption. One afternoon, while Marcus was deep in thought, reviewing a stack of new cases, Emily entered his office with exciting news. "Marcus, we've just received a significant donation from a coalition of local business leaders. They want to support our cause and help expand our programs." Marcus's face lit up with a grateful smile. "That's incredible news, Emily. This support will allow us to reach even more people and potentially establish branches in other cities." The foundation flourished, both in terms of resources and influence. Marcus found himself frequently invited to speak at conferences and universities, sharing his insights on justice and equality. His story became a beacon of hope and inspiration, encouraging many to engage in the fight for a fair and just system. One morning, an unexpected letter arrived for Marcus. It was from a young lawyer in a neighboring city who reported facing similar corruption issues within his local police department. The letter sought advice and guidance on initiating an investigation and advocating for reforms. Emily, after reading the letter, turned to Marcus. "We need to help this young man. His situation mirrors ours, and he's looking for guidance." "Absolutely," Marcus agreed. "Let's invite him to spend some time with us. We can share our experiences and strategies to assist him in his fight." A few days later, Raphael, the young lawyer, arrived. Marcus and Emily welcomed him warmly and began sharing their knowledge and experiences. Raphael, inspired by their work and determined to make a difference in his city, eagerly absorbed their advice. As Atlanta continued its transformation, the community, once fractured, now worked in unison to uphold the reforms and ensure that justice remained a priority. New educational and awareness programs were established in schools and local institutions, fostering values of equality and human rights. The city had embraced its new direction, and the spirit of collective effort was palpable, setting a precedent for others to follow in the ongoing pursuit of justice and integrity. At a bustling community event, Marcus was invited to take the stage. As he stepped up, he was met with a sea of familiar faces, each radiating enthusiasm and support. The sense of pride and gratitude that washed over him was overwhelming. He took a deep breath and began, "We're here today to celebrate the progress we've made together. But let's also remember that the fight for justice is a continuous journey. Our vigilance and unity are crucial." The crowd responded with a resounding applause, and Marcus's voice grew more resolute. "Every victory we achieve is a significant step forward, but our work is far from over. We must remain steadfast in our efforts to fight for those who still lack a voice, for those who have been wronged, and for a future where every individual is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve." In the days that followed, Marcus and his team were immersed in an array of new cases, each one a testament to their commitment to justice. One case, in particular, was deeply moving. It involved a teenager named Miguel, who had been wrongfully accused of theft. Marcus meticulously reviewed Miguel's case and uncovered a web of inconsistencies that pointed to his innocence. Together with Emily, Marcus gathered new evidence and testimonies to support their case. During the hearing, Marcus stood before the judge with unwavering conviction. "Your Honor," he began, "the evidence clearly shows that Miguel was wrongfully accused. The charges against him were fabricated, and he deserves a chance to start anew." The judge, visibly impressed by the thoroughness and credibility of the evidence, decided to annul the charges against Miguel. The relief and joy on the teenager's face along with his family's emotional response, were profoundly moving. For Marcus, each triumph like this reinforced the significance of his work. He understood that while the pursuit of justice was unending, every advancement was a beacon of hope and a step toward genuine change. One serene evening, Marcus found himself reflecting on the whirlwind of recent events while seated in his office. His brother Thomas entered quietly and took a seat beside him. "Marcus," Thomas said, his voice filled with admiration, "I'm incredibly proud of you. You faced tremendous obstacles and never faltered. Your courage and perseverance are truly inspiring." Marcus looked at his brother, gratitude evident in his eyes. "I couldn't have achieved any of this without your support, Thomas. Your guidance and lessons have been my compass throughout this journey." Thomas's eyes gleamed with pride as he responded, "You have a bright future ahead, Marcus. Keep pushing forward. Continue making a difference." Marcus knew that his journey was far from over. With the unwavering support of his family, friends, and community, he was ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead. The foundation he had built continued to expand, reaching more people and fostering significant changes. In the ensuing months, Marcus and his team extended their operations to other cities, spreading their mission for justice and equality beyond their original borders. Each new city that joined the movement marked another stride toward a more equitable system. Marcus's efforts and dedication earned him national recognition, transforming him into a symbol of courage and commitment. His story stood as a powerful testament to the impact of determination and the critical importance of advocating for what is right. Despite the road ahead being long and fraught with challenges, Marcus remained resolute. Each victory and every individual he helped were proof that they were on the right path. With the enduring support of his community and a relentless drive to never give up, Marcus continued his fight for justice, inspiring countless others to join him. Atlanta, rejuvenated by his tireless efforts, looked to the future with renewed hope and determination, ready to face any obstacle in the quest for justice and equality. As we reach the end of this inspiring journey with Marcus, we hope you felt the same sense of hope and determination that fueled his fight for justice and equality. His story is a powerful reminder of the impact one person can make when they refuse to give up and strive to make a difference. What have you learned from Marcus's remarkable journey? We invite you to reflect on the lessons and values that stood out to you. Please share in the comments below one thing you've learned and how you plan to bring it into your own life. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Together, we can continue to spread hope and drive positive change. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.